take a look at YM. So there's the London swing low on YM. Be looking for a possible continuation. We do have sell side down here at 34,492. I'd like to see NQ to start to catch up as well. You can see price action just isn't in our favor either. No fair value gaps within this displacement leg from 940, except this one up here, which I said earlier was supposed to be left open as a breakaway gap. Really nothing. If you look over the 2 minute, do have a 2 minute gap up here, which I guess is fine to use. We'll mark that out really quick. So there's a 2 minute gap. If we get a candle body in there, I'm fine with using that. 4 minute gap, slight, tiny one right there. If you look at the 5 minute, we are closing within. I would like to see it close below this gap, just like we did on the 1 minute. NQ having some struggle to move lower. We do have news in 8 minutes, so it's also why I'm a little bit hesitant in trying to grab anything here. Why I'm filling their 1 minute gap. Watch that as well. Just gonna be patient. I think the better trade setup today will be silver bullet. 10 AM news gives some directional displacement, and then we can go into the 1 minute and hopefully target buy side or sell side. Now with the silver bullets, I said this, I think it was last Thursday on stream, that with the silver bullets you really don't need a higher time frame bias all the time. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but if you can identify just a short-term target, if you just see the displacement that occurs with after 10 AM or after 2 PM, whatever silver bullet model you're using, you really don't need a higher time frame bias. Of course, obviously it'll help, and it's crucial to have one if you want to hold for a long amount of time, or if you're just being a swing trader and you're using higher time frames like 15 minute or higher, then you obviously want to have a higher time frame bias. But if you're just looking for the minimum of 20 points on NQ or 5 points on ES or 5 points on CL or whatever you trade, then it's not always required for you to enter. A lot of the times, I'm sure you can go back to the live stream recordings, I have a higher time frame bias going into the morning, and then silver bullet time hits right at 10 AM, and then like 10:05 or something we have displacement in the complete opposite direction, but you're still able to capitalize on that because the fair value gaps form, able to take that as entry point, and then you can use that just as a counter bias and just target the minimum, or just opposite side liquidity, and then going into the rest of the day it might reverse and go in the other direction. So I'm really fine with it going either direction with the news. I'm assuming it'll have some sort of effect. I think let me check the screenshot really quick. I think it's home sales, so it should have at least some sort of effect here. Still nothing on NQ. I think DXY is still popping up. Yeah, DXY is still popping up, and had no real lower movement on indices. So low probability conditions still. One minute gap here on YM. Looks like we're trying to climb up into that 2 minute gap. Let me remove this really quick. So we'll watch how we use that. There's the 2 minute fill. We'll see where this 2 minute candle closes now. Filling the 1 minute gap, I'm assuming as well, right up there. Let me mark this out as well. So there's the 1 minute gap fill. We'll see where this candle body wants to close. Not interested in taking this as a demo, just with where the indices are right now. Mixed average and DXY popping up still. If you have any questions, you can put them up in Trading Hall chat or in the Prophecy chat. Now, if you look at buy side up here, 4407, only 5 points away, we'll have to look at the higher time frame. Do a buy side up here. No gaps. We have an order block right here, propulsion block. But buy side up here at 27, 4427 and 4436, which I think is, yeah, we do have this buy side up here, which we are slightly, decently close to. So expecting some sort of run up there, especially since we didn't close below this swing low. Still climbing up. Watch this 1 minute gap here if you want to form that. So you can see we came down, tapped into this bisi, didn't close below it. Like I said, if we wanted to remain bearish, that's what we wanted to see. Didn't close below, wicked into it. You can see candle bodies respecting the premium end. And now we're trading back up. So expect ES to climb and probably close above this 1 minute gap. There's also a 1 minute gap right here. Let me remove these. 1 minute bisi right here. And there's also that gap there, but expected to close above it. I'll mark out the high really quick. You can see this candle closed near the premium end, below, above 50%, and then this one as well. So strength found there. I would like to see DXY start to come off, which looks like it's starting to do, and YM is starting to pop up now. So it looks like we would like to climb. We got 2 minutes till the news. And the buy side liquidity isn't super far away, but as a minimum, you'd like to see 5 points from this gap here. If we do come down and fill it. So there's the close above the 1 minute gap, and you can see we're starting to pop up now. We'll see where the news hits us in 20 seconds. And Q is probably close to their buy side as well. Right up there. So here's the news. Doesn't look like it had a huge effect. I mean, we did come all the way down and fill this. So we'll watch for this possibly used as inversion now. And the NQ 1 minute bisi as well. If you look at the 2 minute, there's probably also another gap. Yep, can drag this up slightly. 3 minute. So just watch this one right here. Put it up in blue. I'll screenshot this and send it over to predictions as well. So look for a return potentially into this 2 minute gap. That's preferred. You can also see we do have an order block right here. So should be supported if we do come down. It's just quite strong. Yes, as well. We'll put an alarm right here in case we want to dip lower. Into there, we do have some buy side. Let me mark it out really quick. Hourly buy side all the way up here. Do have a tiny gap on the 15. I'm interested in. I'll mark that out as well. So there's the 15-minute gap up here. Right up there. And then buy side all the way up here. I don't know if we'll climb all the way up there, but it is something to be aware of. So tapping into the inversion as well as the bisi lower. We'll see if you want to use that as support. Take a look at NQ really quick. NQ is quite far from their 2-minute gap, but you can see there's a tiny 1-minute gap right there. Filling another 2-minute gap there. There's another one right here. Mark this out. Now you'd be looking for 20 points from there. Obviously, there's also this buy side liquidity up here that's still of interest. So I'll be watching that. $20 points from this swing high. Decently close, not super far. So preferably we do see a fill on ES. I'd like to see this bisi just wicked into. I know we're trading to this inversion right now, but it looks like we're closing quite bullishly. So we'll see if we want to expand up higher now. Now 5 points from the inversion fair value gap is back up at this high. So look for that, and then potentially the 15-minute sibi up here. And Q climbing up from their 1-minute gap. Look for the 20 points there, which looks like we're slamming through. What is this swing high? 14,957. There's a 20 points. Easy enough. Now I'm looking for ES also to provide their 5 points from the inversion. Now ES is also lagging behind. You can see we're still below the 802 high. And if you look at NQ, here's the 802 high right here, and we're all the way up here. So expect ES to pump up quickly, maybe into this 15-minute gap, and then kind of catch up to where NQ is relative to their buy side. Starting to climb now. You can see we just wicked into this inversion perfectly. Candle closure is very, very bullish. So these 3 candles closing above the inversion fair value gap indicated to me that we did not want to tap into this lower bisi, right? So whenever you have these bullish candle closures, you always need to be aware of it. So about to get the 5 points there. almost, you just wicked right into the 5 points. I'd like to see at least just a tick over. There we go. Easy enough. So there's the 5 points, bagged and tagged. Let me screenshot both of these. I'll send it over to predictions chat, voice crack. Might also be a 2, nope. Let's say there's a 2-minute gap, but it's just a 1-minute gap there. Solid run. Still looking for that buy side. Watch the 1-minute gap we're about to fill now on MNQ. So filling it right there, this tiny gap, as well as this one. We also have an order block right there that I'd like to see used. Now if you look at the 15-minute chart, this looks like a decently reasonable buy side liquidity to be hit. Obviously we do have buy side up here at 15.018. That also should be hit, but this is the low-hanging fruit that I'm looking for. Now if you look at the 5-minute, whoops, wrong chart, 5-minute gap right down there. Let me clear this out. Now if you're looking for 20 points from here, another 20 points right there. It's roughly what, 40 up to the buy side. Solid. Let me put the price line on this really quick. There we go. So still favoring that 957. DXY chopping around right now. Also look for 20 points from that high as well. Yes, swept through their 5 points, as well as their buy set up here. Now, if we do reverse, I think this is enough, enough of a sweep. But if you look at the 15-minute market structure, I'll put it up on this chart really quick. 15-minute market structure alone is quite bullish, right? So here's your smart money reversal at the low, breaker formation on the hourly. You can see it clearly. Breaker right here with a fair value gap that lines up right there, tapped into the fair value gap with the 9 a.m. run, and then you would expect this to continue up higher into the buy side, right? Or at least up into this 15-minute sibi. So that's why I don't think that we'll just sweep out this buy side and just plummet lower. I would like to see some sort of continuation at a minimum into this gap. And then the buy side here, if you look at NQ, it's more or less the same, right? We have, I'll look at the hourly really quick. So my reversal, breaker, fair value gap right here after the market structure shift. Tapped into it, closed bullishly above the fair value gap entirely. So you would like to see a continuation up into 14,957. If you look at the 5-minute, there's a 5-minute gap there. Also a 4-minute gap. So watch as we fill the 5-minute gap potentially. So there's a 5-minute right there. So nice little macro run there. Wasn't able to capture it because it wasn't looking for upside movement, which is fine, but you can see there is a 1 minute gap here. Tapped into it right at 9:51, and we accelerate up into the buy side, going into the close of the macro. Now we'll see if we want to continue here. Remove this junk. Got some fair value gaps here. See if you want to continue now. Now there's a 1 minute sibi right there. When we tap into this 5 minute gap, assuming we want to, you can see there's tons of liquidity, short-term liquidity below that low, as well as this 4 minute gap here. So expect to tap into this, close above 50%. Let me mark that out as well. So close above 892, and then going back to the 1 minute, there's that 1 minute sibi here. So once we head lower into this gap, I would like to see a close above this sibi all together, completely, just one candle or two candles closing above 14919.75. Also want to make sure that DXY is headed lower, which we are starting to climb. So if we want to continue, then it's a little bit sketch to me. Sweeps out the buy side. I'd like to see it start to reverse, but we'll see. Oh, CL just beautiful price action there, filling the gap and just displaced. Now we do have some 1 minute gaps on CL if you're interested in that. Here is the 2 minute that I'm interested in. Sell side all the way down here. Relative equal lows, as well as this gap that's present. So look for that. ES starting to close below their gap there. So we'll see if we want to respect this bisi or not. If DXY continues to climb, then we definitely will not respect this gap at all, and we'll just plummet through it. Let me check on YM really quick. YM starting to head lower. So not the best conditions right now in terms of heading for that buy side. I don't know if we will climb into it or not. You can see ES climbing to, or closing below their 1 minute gap there. Looks like this is proper silver bullet displacement. So let me remove this 4 minute gap really quick. Now you'd be looking for, there's a sibi right here. We'll see if you want to use that. 2 minutes left in the candle. We'd like to see it close below here. Also, if we do close below and climb back up, then this should be used as inversion, right? Also tapped into this order block right here. Candle buys respecting the low end. So we'll see if we want to. With YM dropping off like this, it's pretty evident that I don't think that YM or NQ will climb, especially with DXY also starting to pop up here. So I'm not expecting any upside movement. Watch the downside movement now. So for 10 a.m. So yeah, ES starting to dump off now. 2-minute gap right there, and as well as a 3-minute gap right there, as well as the inversion. So we'll be watching those. NQ got that 2-minute gap up here. Let me clear this out. So as long as this holds another 28 seconds, then I would look for a retracement into there, and then you can use that to potentially go short. We'll look at a demo short rate over here as a potential. Put the stop loss up at the high here, and then be looking for, we'll go for this swing low here. Let me switch this over to 2 units really quick. Take profit down at the low there. Just a quick demo trade. We'll see if it wants to get filled. Looking for this swing low down here as our short-term liquidity target. Now if you look at the 2-minute, there's the 2-minute gap. 3-minute, there's also one a little bit slightly above, but I am favoring this 2-minute to be used. And preferably, if we do fill this gap, I would like to see a quick reaction. I don't want to see it climb and close above 50%. I want to see just preferably we wick into it and then head lower. This is considered slightly lower resistance, right? No run on the stops of this low, and it's been left open since 9:51, especially after this large run up. You can also see there's a market maker sell model slightly in here. I think this candle did wick into this gap here as well, which if you drop to a lower time frame like the 30-second, you could see that there's a 2022 model in here as well. Here's a swing low, also technically an intermediate term low, right, because there's a tiny gap there. So if you drop to the 30-second, you'll see what I mean. But with the 1-minute right now, there's a tiny bisi right here. Filled it, that's your intermediate term low. Broke it with displacement, so there's your market structure shift. And then this candle, I believe, wicked. Let me look at the high on this candle. So high is at 14,912. High is at 14,912.5. So perfect IO Fed entry right there, right here. And then we've headed lower since then. We also expect this to be used as inversion. I want to see it wick into here and then look for 20 points from there, which isn't super far, but still favoring a fill. Hopefully we get filled here on the demo. Take a look at ES. ES got filled there. Here's your 2-minute gap that just got wicked into right there. Still looking for this sell side at 4390.5. Let me screenshot this, send it over to predictions as well. Go back to NQ. Still waiting for a fill there. If you look at the 3-minute, nothing. 4-minute, there's a gap there. So I am expecting some sort of wick. 5-minute is also starting to form one. Slightly higher, but same bias. Just needed to wick up into this sell limit really quick. Now, if it does get stopped out, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think high time frame bias of the London swing low being the drawn liquidity. We do also have some sell sign right here that I'll mark out. Yeah, we'll keep it for now. So, and with DXY headed up and indices starting to trade lower, especially after we failed to sweep out this buy side, I think overall the bias seems right to me. So if it gets stopped out, I'm fine with that. Now, it didn't get filled. We got super close to it. What is this? Like half a point, which is super close on NQ. Now, if we do form a gap here within this displacement candle, look for a sibi to form, and then potentially we can use that to go short. Now, we do have an order block right here. We'll see if we want to respect the low end of this. So just tapped right up into the order block. Now, if this closes bearishly, that's extremely weak price action. That's a immediate rebalance up into the low right there and tapping to the order block with leaving a 2-minute gap open. We'll see if you want to climb back up or not. Looks like we're starting to. Now, ES, I'm assuming probably filling there, tapping up into their order block as well, and a 2-minute gap up here. Still haven't reached it. Now, I'm actually going to move this limit order down here, just because there's a 1-minute gap that could also be filled, especially with this swing low being super close. So it didn't get up to the sell element again, and we're starting to reject instantly. You can see it's just dumping off now. Super annoying, but it is what it is. Sometimes it happens, right? No, I'm assuming that this swing low is going to be hit. ES probably going to smack through their swing low as well. Yep, there you go. So got an entry on ES, but no entry on NQ. And there is the low bagged and tagged. And NQ sell side, and the limit order that unfortunately didn't get filled. Man, that's annoying. Half a point away. It is what it is. So we'll clear this out. If you have any questions, you can put them up in the trading hall chat or prophecy chat. There's only 2 people left, so I think we'll end the stream there. 10:50 macro, 11:50 macro, I'll send my thoughts out. If you have any questions, DM them to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll post the stream recording as well up on YouTube. Just a quick one. It's like 30 minutes. I started a little bit late, so if you're interested in that, then I'll post that. You can go back and watch it. Appreciate you guys who came out and stuck around. I will see you guys tomorrow for the stream. Stay safe. Good luck and good trading. I will see you guys tomorrow.